Here.
Okay. We will start off with somebody making a motion to approve the minutes from the May meeting.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the April
April.
24th.
It seems so long ago.
I realize as I'm reading the agenda thing here from the other one, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not right. This is the second one.
Let's try that
Jake
again.
had she just got it.
Oh,
No, that's not in there.
It is, I
So she made a motion, I'll
These for
second.
you, wasn't I yours, because you have some back in there.
all it is.
All A's, you guys all happy?
Yes.
Sorry.
You're all right. All right, so we will just go back through the April meeting and see what needs handled, if anything. So do we have any further update on North Poplar? Has he ever
No.
finished that title search yet?
No, not that I heard of. I sent him an email about the Taylor property and never heard anything back. But I was a little harsh in the email though.
Yeah, he started telling me this morning, we got on a different subject, so he is aware.
He's aware of it?
Yeah, he
Okay.
was just busy.
Yeah, he told me that too. That he's been busy. He's like, not forgetting you guys, but just, I guess he has another attorney leave. Right.
Okay. Then the Central A&M School Resource Officer,
Yeah, I do have a little bit of an update. So, I talked to Josh Berger, the school board president, and he is interested in having a member sit in on their interview. And it may possibly even be one of the board members and the principal in the middle school. So I said, I don't have a problem with that, I'll bring it up to you guys. And I said, we'll see if we would go into executive session, but so that they can have a little bit of input too when we get there. And it probably won't be until, like I said, the plan is to hire him at the July council meeting.
so they're paying half of the bills.
Yeah.
So they're more entitled to.
Time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, civility pledge was handled. TIF preliminary information was handled, placed on the agenda. Budget. So we already covered all the special things for the budget. I don't think we need to do.
No, because we're gonna vote, make it all official. We have a public hearing at 6:45 Wednesday, and then on the 7th, and then we'll vote to make it all official.
The pump repair was taken care of. The $1,000 for rock and sand was handled. We placed the bid for the water main and lead service project on the agenda. That was handled. Sewer phase 2 is handled, so that's everything off of the.
Remember them rocks.
I think so. Isn't that the Rock by Bond? Isn't that the?
Yes, to sand, yeah.
Yeah.
So before we go, we'll do the agenda, we'll go through and see what everybody has to add on their own, and then we can go through the agenda of anything left that's not handled before that. You wanna go first?
Well, I got a couple of things to talk about. I did talk to Dana. She had her surgery this past Thursday. She is back home. She's doing well. She's just still a little queasy from from being put under. She seems to think she's going to come back maybe next week. The doctor will release her. I said it'll probably be later, probably mid-month. But either way, we're looking at light duty when she does come back. So that being said, and talking to the guys, I went ahead and I know we got summer workers coming up. Ethan has already started, and then also today Carter Thomas had started. So we're also looking at what you guys want to do. If you guys want to hire 2 more, that's as many as they want. Darren and Jack has kind of gone back and forth. On some days they're like, yeah, we can have all 4. One that they're kind of was thinking about with Carter is that since he worked for his grandpa with Thomas Plumbing, assigning him just to Jack, because he can work with some of the stuff with the upcoming water project, and a lot of the things, some of the things that we did with the water project, sewer project that's coming on, we kind of made some cuts within it to do ourselves. So it's kind of one of those things to where the guys are going to be out there concentrating on that. But then at the same time, I told them it's like, we got to get these drains cleaned up. I want the curbs painted. There's a lot of other things that's going on that we need. We've already getting seniors calling about wanting stuff picked up for cleanup days, so that was one reason why we had him come in this week. And then I also want to also mention too, we did have an EPA violation. It's nothing to dealing with nitrates, but what it is that it has to deal with reporting of the amount of discharge that we put into Big George. Now, there's a back and forth from what the state says to what we say. And the attorney is aware of this, Jack's aware of this, we've spoke to the attorney. EPA says we haven't made any reports until from 2019. That's not true from what Jack says, because even Mark, when Mark was here, they've done reporting. So there's a discrepancy on the reporting, on it's like when the state has received things and to what we have actually produced. So we're working on that. We have to come up with an answer within 45 days. We're going to discuss it at council. That was also brought up, Donnie, I know at water too, and also Ross, you're still on water too, I forgot. So just wanted to let you guys all be aware of it. But one of the things that after I had learned about this, I called Jack, to get a better understanding. And one of the things that he did admit was he does not delegate work very well. Now this is before Dana's stroke. So one of the things is I said, you need to utilize Dana more. You know, she's there. You know, yes, I know we all have our ups and downs with time and everything. But I said, you need to utilize her, because I said, I don't want to keep having these things get missed through the process. And he understood, he did, and he admitted, he goes, Derek, I'm one of those types of people, I just take things under myself and just go with it. So he's learned, you know, to have Dana start doing some more things, and then, you know, what happened. So that's kind of where we're at with everything with that and the hiring of the summer workers. So we got, you know, like I said, 4 that applied. If you want to do 2, if you want to do 3. One of the things we're going to do if we do the 4, we took the old Dodge over to Dave's to see if we could get it running. If you can get it running for these 3 months, then that's fine. And then that also kind of maybe help us in the value when we try to go and sell it. You know, it's like, hey, at least we can say, hey, it runs. So we're trying to do that. That's where the truck is right now on it. And yeah, so that's just where we're at on it. Do also, we need to discuss, I think you guys have it in your packets, a squad car that Brian has found for $7,800 out of Lovington. This would be for the school resource officer. It does not include the cage or any of the equipment. It's got $98,000. 98,000 is the mileage. It's a 2015 Ford Interceptor. You know, originally we were going to think about giving one of them our trucks, but then one of the trucks has got a hole in the floorboard, and you know, like I said, the Dodge doesn't even run, so we kind of ran out of options. But this is one that we had kind of found. So we're going to have to put that on the agenda to vote on it. So. And then also, I also want to bring up too, if you also see in your package, you'll see a $7,600 bill for the PTI training. Now, talking with Wade, it's the plan that the state should pay for this, but we will get reimbursed from it. So we are going to have to pay that, and then hopefully the state will reimburse everything on it. But as you can see, there were some things that we did get discounted off. The reimbursement line, 50%, you know, the state already covered part of it already, $8,765. But we are going to have to vote to approve that. Don't forget to take your Open Meetings Act too if you haven't done it.
All right.
Gary, if you haven't done yours.
Someone's turn is in.
Gary has? Look at you. No, Selena. Selena was making hers.
I just went.
Yeah, I have got to do mine. So,
Wow, a couple hours.
yeah, Donnie, don't forget to.
I
Yeah.
have a question on this basic training.
Okay.
On where it says salary for training period,
Uh-huh.
$15.50 fixed rate for 640 hours. Did they pay him that? Because it's so, we also pay him for salary.
Salary for I wonder if that's for the, no, I bet that's for them, their salary.
But it says tuition and registration.
Lodging, food, salary for training.
Salary for training, $15.50
Well, it
fixed
could
rate.
go either way.
Yeah.
For the instructor or
think the instructor would make more than 50, well, 50 per
Well, if it's
person,
just
I
like a
guess.
certain, yeah, let me,
So just, just ask.
yeah,
We need to find out.
let me text Brian and see.
Well, so up there it says hours in course, 640 hours. I'm pretty sure that he had more than one instructor. So unless the 1550 is like some kind of charge per course hour for instruction, I don't know.
I'll ask Brian. I've never known him to get paid. I mean, and do it, but,
Well, is that what we've already paid him? Cause that's not
Mm-mm.
included in everything
It
here.
is, it's included, because they already paid 86.70, or 87.65 out of that amount.
It says here
So it was 76.10 plus the 99.20.
Well, because I would think if they were giving him a paycheck, at some point he would have said to Ryan or somebody, hey, why am I getting two paychecks?
yeah,
I bet you
But, I
that
mean,
is
we
a
still need to know.
reimbursement. Well, yeah, because it's basically non-reimbursement amount plus about $1,000. So depending on what that 99.20 is, if that's double, if he basically got double paid, that eliminates pretty much all the rest of the remaining costs. Plus another 1,000, because the remaining cost is only,
That's another-
76.10,
Yeah.
there's 99.20.
yeah. Well, I texted Brian to see, is he working tonight? First day, he just come by.
Text Jackson, ask him, to say, hey, did you get, oh, that would be simple. I would think that if the training paid the person, I would think they would tell your home,
Yeah, we would get something.
they would tell your home municipality that they were paying them so that we wouldn't.
Also, Danny Davis is gonna go on to the zoning board, Jane Brackett is leaving, so we will vote to do that.
Chair Mazzoni wants the meeting on the 6th of June,
6th of June, I think that works for me.
so it'll be next Tuesday before.
Oh, it'll be next Tuesday before with council. And this is their annual.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Works for me. We are going to approve an ordinance for the TIF, but it's only approving of the public hearings that we have coming up. We do need to do that. Okay, Brian responded, we are on call. We are on a call.
Well, I was gonna say, all the fire trucks in there, they took off north up the highway about 5 something,
Okay.
about 5:30.
We'll find out.
Yeah, well, I said, that's fine.
So we know before the,
Before we know, yeah.
yeah.
So what do you got that? It just said, let me know and I'll pass it along to all of you.
Okay.
Alright. What else we got?
Got the quotes for Jack's truck.
Oh, yeah, so, Jack did submit quotes, they are, one is a 2023 Ford F-550, regular 4x4. This also includes the, nap hide, the 9-foot service bed that he would, like to have, that will make everything easier on him, for $67,608, and then he also has another one, which is a 2023 Ford F-150,
regular cab 4x4.
One's diesel, one's gas.
Okay, that's what I was looking at.
Discrepancy.
And it's $76,888. That one's a little bit more, I mean, but we do want it to where, you know, the four-wheel drive helps with the plowing of the snow.
And it lasts a lot longer.
Yes, it will. It will. So then what we would ultimately do is that he would, his truck that he's currently using, we would then give it to Dana. And then we move Dana's truck over to, basically, you know, as a spare.
Those
So-
are brand new, right?
Both of them are brand new. I know you kind of talked about getting a used one. And Jack did mention at one time finding a used one down by, at Ridings in Pana. But he didn't give it to me, so I don't know if they sold it.
Well,
I think it was gone.
Was it
It was
gone?
gone.
He said it was red, and I said, I didn't have a problem with being red.
What about that used one I sent you that Bob Ridings had on the lot?
I don't know if it's still there.
I don't know. See, these, remember though, these prices are last year's.
Yeah, but hopefully,
Because they
but,
said, these fleet prices were the bid, because these bids aren't valid.
Yeah.
Because the orders had to be in by January 13th.
I know.
Yeah, but
Remember-
the date here says May the 30th,
Well.
up here above his name, so I thought maybe they got the order dates wrong.
Well, so when I talked, because we didn't realize that Jack had talked to him about the fleet stuff, to this Todd Cruz, so I emailed him as well. And he sent back, remember he sent back that email saying that basically these prices and orders were for last fleet thing, last fleet order section,
Orders,
whatever
yeah.
it's called. But he said the new ones, they wouldn't be able to start taking bids or giving prices till July for the 24s. So this here, because he said, just be in mind that the prices are gonna go up from what's on these. But he said, I'll send you these as just as an idea to work off of. If I remember good.
Yeah, well, you just sent, yeah, just talk to him. Jack has already been in touch. That's all you sent me.
Oh, I thought he emailed you and me both.
No.
I can find it.
So that's okay. So, you know, you guys happy with putting it on the agenda?
Yeah.
I mean, we could set it for a
Yeah.
certain amount.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows how long it'll take to even get one?
Well, because we can't even check it until July, so.
Yeah, so, I mean, we do it in June, prove it in June, we can go and look in July. Or do you wanna wait?
I mean, we're gonna have to replace one.
No, you're right, we are gonna have to.
It's not gonna matter, at some
No.
point, we're gonna have to buy one used or new.
Yeah.
The problem with used is, by the time we get the specs,
Mhm.
talk about it in committee, approve the money and everything, it's been sold 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah.
You know, I'm afraid that's the problem we're gonna run into, finding a used one, unless we vote to authorize
Up to next summer,
2 or
huh?
3 people to make the decision on a used one. but-
Only so many people are bonded and.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
problem we're in. Because you would almost have to have it to where, like you, Jack, and somebody else would basically have the authority to say, we've got X number of dollars set aside, if the used one pops up, buy it.
Yeah.
And then more or less, I don't know. That's the only way you're gonna get a used one.
Okay, this is what Brian texted with the salary. Okay, he said the salary line, we don't get that. It's just the figure they have for officers being paid by their departments while at the academy.
So why are we getting a bill then? Because if you take that out of the total, the state's reimbursement would have
Covered all of that.
covered everything. Because that's $10,000 out of 17.
Read it again, what did he say?
He said, here you go.
The salary line, we don't get that. It's just the figure. Not why they have it, but see, it's only at $15.50 an hour. Not why.
So he must be still texting.
The salary line, we don't get that. It's just the figure they have for officers being paid by their departments while at the academy. Not while they have it, but C, it's only at $15.50 per hour, not why they have it.
They added it in
Yeah,
to the total,
yeah, because they're
having
total,
us pay it.
yeah, if that's just supposed to be like an informative line
Let
number
me just call
four,
them.
that would just add it on, I'll call you so. Because the total should have only been $7,610, the state's reimbursement, but see, the state
Then you also put,
reimbursement.
if we received a grant to hire a new officer, that would make a difference, but we didn't.
So the state reimbursed us part of that $99.20. So that's not an informative line, because the state reimbursed us 50% of line 6. Line 6 is tuition, registration, and salary for
salary,
training
yes.
period combined.
Okay.
So line 6 includes the $99.20 as part of the initial 50% that they reimbursed, that $87.65. And the reimbursable
We need-
direct
yeah,
cost.
We need to verify with Brian and have him look at this. Have him look
Okay.
at,
Well, but
You
look at
filled
this
it
though.
out.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
You fill it out.
So here's the
His
thing though.
signature.
ask him
Right.
why. I mean,
Well, here's the thing. So line 4 is not included in the reimbursable direct cost, the 7610. So that does not include anything to do with that salary.
But they paid reimbursement.
So basically, the way this reads, we don't, well, if we pay the 7610, they'll reimburse it. But if they gave him 99.20 in payroll, so did we. Because if you notice, so this reimbursement that they
Yeah.
initially did is line 6, which is these two
Two
added.
added together.
But if you look at the reimbursable direct cost, is all the lines but salary.
Salary, yeah.
And it
maybe
shows,
Brian has to list what we paid him. Because it's not included.
We paid him more than $15.50 an hour.
maybe that's all that they're, maybe minimum wage is all that they're technically allowed to reimburse for. And then if you pay them more than that, that's just on us. I wonder if that's,
We need Brian here or some more information on
Okay.
that, more clarification.
because that would make sense if the state, I can see them setting because if they reimburse off what your salary is, if Chicago's paying them $40 an hour, the state's only gonna reimburse up to a certain dollar amount. They're not gonna pay what every jurisdiction
Right,
agrees to
right.
pay their
I understand that.
officer at training. So I bet you the state sets that dollar amount. I bet that's what that is.
Okay, go ahead, Derek, what else?
That's good about all that I have. We'll add the truck to the,
Do you want any of the Chastain invoices on the agenda?
Yes, so I'll ask you, Donnie and Gary, how do you guys want it? Do you want them just to do one roll call instead of reading each one of them out? Or do you wanna do it each individual? I say do it on one roll call.
What are you talking?
You know, like the reimbursements, the disbursements, I mean,
Yeah.
for Chastain's, you know, we gotta do so much for lead, so much for non-lead.
Right.
Just do one, put them all together and just make
For
one
the
roll call.
engineering, just the engineering part,
Yeah.
two
Just
Chastains.
I mean, I guess for simplicity, probably all at one, and
Yeah.
sit there and.
So, you know, I mean, yeah, we're sitting there reading.
It's still
and-
documented, it's still
Yeah,
on
it's
paper
still-
for everyone.
exactly.
It's
Right.
where
It's
you
documented.
take one vote instead
And
of.
you're gonna see 'em all still.
Right, so I think that's fine.
Okay. Okay, we'll just do
Saves a
that
little
then.
time and,
Makes sense to me. I was wondering why we had to read all those out anyway.
yeah,
So, and also, there was a situation involving Janet's paycheck. To make to make Angel's life a little bit easier, because Janet receives two paychecks. One as collector, one as city clerk. So Angel had asked me about putting them all on one check to make her life a little bit easier. And I said, yeah, anything to make her life easier,
I said, go ahead and do it. Well, it has now come to light, and I honestly did not think this, but given that it is one larger amount because they're put together, it's the taxes. Yeah, I honestly did not think of it. I was thinking more for Angel, say, oh yeah, you know, do it. Because I said, as long as it's separate on the check stub, that's where my mind was. So I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention on it. Gary is aware of this. Gary has mentioned about going back to 2 paychecks for her, but we wanted to.
When
let you
I
guys be aware.
talked to Adam,
Mhm.
he did say it was easier on their end for 2.
For 2,
as well.
okay. So,
Okay.
go back for 2 for you. Oh, we got Brian calling. Hey, Brian.
Hey, so, yeah, it's kind of confusing, but, so, if we.
Yeah, you're on speaker too, just so you know.
If a department would have received like a grant to hire a new officer,
Yes.
that's where that salary figures in, because they would be able to recover some of that salary, if they received a grant. Does that make sense?
No.
No, Selena did. Yeah.
Okay, so here's an example. So they call them COP grants, or the Department of Justice. There are grants out there where departments can hire officers, and the federal government pays for. They give you a grant for like 2 or 3 years. So they'll pay for the salary, the training, and everything for that brand new officer for those first 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you have to hire a brand new person and then send them through the academy. So when you send them through the academy, like we sent Jackson through the academy, we paid him, all officers are paid an hourly wage when they're going through the academy. That grant, sets it at like $15.50 an hour that you can recover back for that, if that makes sense. So like, let's say we got a grant for Jackson, and we paid him $15.50 an hour to go to the academy, then we could recover that money back. But it's only if you get a grant for hiring a new officer, because it says that in parentheses there, it's for grants for officers.
So is the 90, so
It's just basically, it's one form that everybody can use if you have a grant or not. So we won't be able to recover that $15.50 at all, because that's just the cost of
There is a
us
line,
doing
yeah.
business.
well, the state reimbursed part of that 1550 though, doesn't, cause they reimbursed it off of the total top amount. Cause I don't know if you have a copy in front of you, but on the first of the reimbursable indirect cost, it says 50% of line 6, and line 6 is that 1550 total plus the tuition and registration fees. So they covered 50% basically of that salary, 1550 per hour, and then the remaining amount is everything except for that.
So they've already paid us back for that?
That's the way I
We
read
have not
it.
gotten any money.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten any money, but that's,
They're just looking at the form that you filled out the other day, Brian.
No, we shouldn't get any of that back. We should only get the cost of the training. We should, I don't believe we'll get any of that $15.50, but I
You
may
may-
be wrong.
well, you may have to take a look at the form then, cause maybe the line 6, I'm not sure. We'll have to, maybe we can look at it next week, because we don't.
At council, well, we have to vote to approve it, but,
Okay.
I mean, it'll
Maybe
just
between
be
now and
certain
then.
lines is what they'll reimburse.
If you look under that $15.50, there's a parentheses and it says this is for, what does it say, for grants or something? I can look at it. It's on my phone.
were any costs associated with the training, including salary paid for by a federal, state, or local
Right.
grant, from another
Yeah,
agency or source? I mean, that's all that I see.
Yeah, we did not get any grants, so under my understanding, we would not get any of that salary back. But I can always call, they haven't been able to tell us if we're getting any of it back yet, but,
Yeah.
For any of the costs associated with training paid for by a grant, no, or by funds from another agency.
yeah, let me look at it real quick, hold on, let me look.
Yeah, cause I'm wondering if that first reimbursement, that 50% of line 6, I'm wondering if maybe that salary training period shouldn't be included in that total, if that's not recoverable. I don't know, it's kinda confusing, the way they have their form written out, the way it's
So maybe, I
designed.
see where Gary just says 50%, so maybe that would be awesome if we did get 50% of that.
Yeah, because it shows two different reimbursements. It shows reimbursed indirect costs, which is line 6, which is basically all of the cost, for tuition,
Yeah.
salary and all that. And then right below it is reimbursable direct costs, which literally is everything but the salary training period.
Yeah.
And then the maximum reimbursement,
It's
you
the
know what?
lesser of those two.
Yeah.
So she'll give you that one.
So you get whichever one is the lower amount. So the lesser of
Yeah.
line 7 or line 8, so actually, yeah,
We
okay.
get 7610.
7610,
Yeah, so 7610 is what would be the reimbursable amount.
Right, that's my understanding.
So do we have a bill for the total rest of it though?
Do we have a bill for the rest, or is this be it, 'cause you got 7610 on here, and that would be the maximum, go ahead.
We should have a bill from McCletsy for 7610, right? Is that right there with us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all we
Right.
have, because
And that's what will be reimbursed.
There's the next one.
that's what we have to pay.
And that's,
The wages are what we pay normally.
okay. So basically just ignore the top half of that
Yeah, ignore 7.
sheet then. So basically it should all be reimbursable.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that makes,
Yeah.
why they bother?
Yeah, thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Good deal, thanks.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, Brian.
Bye-bye.
So we already paid Jackson that 99.20.
We paid him, yeah.
Okay, so, yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
More
I
than
see,
that.
I see
Yeah.
what he's talking about now. It makes sense. It's,
Mm-hmm.
the state of Illinois has to make everything
Yeah.
as difficult as possible.
I can finish up, so then I can just have it.
All right, last thing is, this was brought up at the streets meeting, and then was brought to me during a meeting with the employees, was a raise. And I know that there's been things that, Gary and Travis have talked about doing that, possibly for next year, but then Gary realized that time's gone by quicker. And then we're already in, it has been a year, so it's like, and I will tell you that all of the department heads did put enough money in for a raise. So I think it's something that we need to think about.
I thought they were every 2 years anyway.
Well, so we've talked about doing it 2 years.
We
and
gave
then
them 9% last year.
We did,
To
but
get them over for the 2 years.
it's gotten out that the aldermen have been discussing about giving out raises, annually, so then it was brought up at streets. And I said, you know what, the only thing I can do is bring it up. I will bring it up and,
So when we did, this was all part of the retention thing last June. The pay raise last June actually covered 2 years because they were up to their 2 years for raises to begin with. And so we had talked about the next budget year implementing the 3% standard raise every year, so we don't have to do that every 2 year, and so everybody knows what it is. I didn't realize it had been a year already since
It
we did
has,
those. So if we want to go ahead and vote to implement the 3%, yearly raises and start it with this new budget, if they have the money in there to do it, that's fine. Because we were actually going to talk about it in the fall, because I was thinking that's when it would have came up, but it has been.
it has been a year,
So I have no problem with that.
Okay. We will,
What's everybody else think?
Yeah, I'm fine with
I'm fine with that.
okay.
Make it in June, 3% every year.
Yeah, because we were gonna do it next June, but we can do it this year, because that actually is what we should have done. Because otherwise, we're gonna leave a year, we basically would do a year of nothing, because they wouldn't catch up next year by doing the 3% if we started in 24. So they would lose basically a year's, or they would lose a year's pay, or wage raise.
then you wanna do like a resolution on it? Okay, we can get something typed up.
Yeah, I think that's probably,
Yes.
I think we probably should have it, something that the full council votes on and says, this is what.
This is what it is.
Yeah, because I don't want to do like we did last year where it almost becomes like I'm bidding for
Yeah.
raises. That can get out of hand pretty
So
quickly.
we'll vote on that then, or have
Yeah,
a,
and that's all I have. You guys got anything? I don't wanna take over from you, Gary.
No, you talked
Move over
about
to
the setting the
agendas.
public hearing and the dates. You've got a schedule from Moran, I guess. And the only thing I was wondering is if we've heard back from the attorney, I think he was gonna talk at the June meeting about the schedule he would suggest for the annexation steps.
I have not heard anything from him.
I wonder if you need to just rattle his chain for getting a schedule of some sort. I know there's
Well,
nothing to
I'm
approve.
sure he will, I mean,
I know there's nothing to approve or anything, but I'm afraid he heard September and he's thinking, you know,
right, he arrives in.
plenty of time.
plenty of time.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah, I
thinking
know.
If he just had nothing to approve, but I think what he was gonna do at the June meeting was just say, these are the steps it's gonna take, and there's some
Yes.
45-day waiting period, and there's this and that, and
Mhm.
I just wanna be sure
Right.
next week he comes.
I think
No,
we
I'll
should
talk
have
to
it
him
out,
and-
touch
and
base
see.
make sure
I
we're
will.
on the same page.
I will.
Not have another shocker.
Like the last meeting?
Yeah, like the last meeting.
It caused me anxiety for 30 days.
Yeah. We don't want that to happen again.
That was my other regular job.
Donnie, did you have something you wanted to?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, I mean, for the, on the water budget, cause I know last you and I talked, you were wanting to stick around 50. This is gonna be a lot more than that.
Well, so,
For a truck, I mean,
this is
we-
kind of what I'm thinking. We have this equipment savings, our account. We can take we would buy the truck out of that, but what I would like to do is at the end of the fiscal year, take the money that we spent on vehicles, so it'd be like for this truck and then for the squad car, we put that money back in the money that we have left over from the general revenue. Because I think if you look, we had like $368 thousand left that we didn't spend. So there's enough to go ahead and do that. But as for like a line item, we did. Yeah, 50,000, quite honestly, I haven't shopped around for vehicles, and when I said that, I just kind of pulled it out.
Oh,
So I kind of got sticker shock when I saw it. I mean,
Yeah.
I drive a Ford, Chevy Cruise. But yeah, that's kind of the intent, but I would even like it to where we go like above and beyond, and like take an extra 10,000 to put in that savings account, and then every, so we know if we keep building it up.
So can this be shopped around price-wise?
We probably could shop around,
The
yes.
service body package?
Let me talk to Jack, but I would think that it probably.
I would say Jack is.
those are pretty set.
Are they?
I
Are
would
they?
say
'Cause
Jack.
Because there's one out of Ride, at Landmark, and I sent you a picture of it, and it's about 78, but it had a two-wheel drive and a four-wheel
I
drive.
think it's that Napa bed, that's the,
Is that,
That's what
that's
everyone
what you're
wants,
gonna
yes.
spend everywhere?
yeah,
Because you never know, if you get stuff through dealers, you never know.
yeah.
Right, you never know if that's, Dodge is one price and you go to a different dealership and it's cheaper. Nothing's cheaper.
Derek, I just wanted to back up. How much did you say we had in the rescue fund to want to take out for the truck?
No, not in the
Nothing.
rescue, nothing in the, it's not the rescue fund.
What fund?
Well, I was just talking about the money that we have left in the general revenue account.
Okay.
Because nobody spends, up to their whole
Right.
dollar
Okay,
amount.
gotcha.
So the money that we would have left over, I kind of wanted to do it, and I put it into a CD, we just never got around to doing it.
Okay.
And I talked to Adam about it, like how we, are reporting it, he goes, no, you can do that. It doesn't need to show as line item, you just got to approve it at the council meeting to do that. So I would just, I guess I would rather wait until next year
Right.
to do it, and do it at like in May of next year and say, hey, we're gonna have Angel take X number of dollars out to reimburse basically that savings account for the truck and the car, and maybe add in an extra 10,000, just so that we keep that flush.
Okay. Well, you'd spoken that at the meeting, at the
Yeah.
council meeting last time. I didn't catch where, I thought you said,
There is a savings account for 273 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
but the rescue fund money is all.
It's also in a savings account.
Oh,
as
no,
well.
it's
Oh, it's not, okay, I
We
thought-
transferred it before the end of the year.
that's right,
Into-
you told me, into a checking account, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
we were dispersing like 20 minutes.
Between the departments.
Yes, yeah, we had to do that before we posted.
Yeah, the fiscal years.
What's, so the only thing on the agenda that we haven't covered or talked about, what's the motion to it?
I have a couple things.
Okay. You want to go first or?
Well, this one cannot be put on the agenda, I mean, because it's gonna be too late, but on Janet's IMRF from her one check that she was getting for collectors was never reported to IMRF, but we were taking it out of her check. So we need to pay that. So I was just coming to, it's $3,332.31. That's her part and our part, but it's, yes. So
We
it
can't
needs to
put-
be,
Yeah.
we need to pay this, and it has to be done by June the 4th, so I need
Oh,
to,
yeah.
Well, it's technically, so it.
I mean, it's technically, we have the money there because it was already taken out.
Well, I was thinking, since it's already basically payroll stuff that would have already been done, I don't think it really actually needs to be voted on. If you're just
Right.
basically
I didn't
sending
think so,
check.
but I
that's
wanted to bring
covered.
it to everybody's
Yeah.
attention, so everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah, I think basically that's probably all.
And I just wanted to get the
is.
okay to, you guys are fine with me going ahead and paying it, because it needs to be done by June 4th.
Yeah. Pretty sure my
Okay,
breath wants
then-
to-
Yeah, that's right.
One other thing I would like to bring up and discuss and see if we can get it, put on the agenda for, approval is, I think we need some kind of fence along our pools. I don't think it should be left up to insurance companies to tell our city people whether they need a pool or not, because I would say 90% of these people out here at pools have not even told their insurance companies they have one. I think we need a fence up around pools.
Well, we actually, we're calling it a zoning meeting, so, on that Tuesday before. So we can talk about it at zoning, and then we go ahead and add it to the agenda and see if it comes out as zoning.
We had talked about it in one of the.
We,
other
it
meetings.
was just us, yeah, I think
We
we're in the
wondered if there already
conversation.
was an ordinance.
There's not.
There's not.
No.
Well, and everybody thought there was years ago, but apparently there never has been. But I think we need an ordinance,
Yeah.
especially for the ones that are dug down and drowned.
Yeah.
They're only standing up just a little bit, a kid can flip over that
Yeah.
in
We'll have-
minutes.
We would have
drown.
to find out what the state's approved, because there's, you get into boundary
So
lines and
what we could,
stuff.
what we could do is, I mean, somebody can talk about it. We can put it on the agenda for discussion, have the attorney draw up something, and then we officially vote on it in July.
I'm sure the municipal,
I'm sure there
attorney
probably
already
is something.
knows what the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
variances
And I can
are.
bring
You
that
know,
up.
where do you draw the line at, the little Walmart $100 pool that's a foot high?
Well,
Because
it's-
anybody could drown in that. You could have too much to drink and fall in and drown.
Well-
So do you have to build a fence around a $100 Walmart, 1 foot off the ground? I mean, how does that,
No, I would say if
There
it's
has
like
to be-
in ground, like.
in ground definitely. In
Yeah,
ground
in ground,
definitely.
and
And
then
it's
also
safe.
And if it's above
but
ground,
then-
as long as they move their ladder,
Yeah,
I mean, something like that even, but in ground definitely needs,
Yeah, in ground.
I bet you it's already established the size of pools and the depth that require.
There has
I
to
bet
be
the
some
Yeah.
type of regulation written somewhere, so the attorney,
Yeah.
huh?
Probably 3 foot, 4
Yeah.
foot, whatever they.
I bet you when we talk to the attorney, I bet it's already well
Well,
established.
that'll ease
what-
it, that'll ease it and
Yeah.
we'll be able to adjust it from there.
Yeah, I mean, because you're right, that's.
right, those little
There
plastic
has to be
pools. and-
reasonable levels. I mean, and then you have to determine what kind of fence it is, how tall the fence is, how it's anchored. And there's a lot of specifics
Mhm.
that's why I said, I can't believe that it's not already established.
Well, we probably never.
Oh, I'm sure it is established
Established
somewhere.
somewhere,
It's
yeah.
got-
So,
Either on a state level or even maybe if you check with an insurance agent, they can tell you, say, here's what's the industry expected standard. So that, because we don't want to pass an ordinance and then come to find out that our ordinance is too loose and it actually should have been a bigger fence or.
oh, I will do some more investigating on it then.
Did you get this one?
No,
Fence all over for
no, I just worry about my grandbabies.
Well, there was more conversation on Facebook.
Yeah, there was.
I figured something
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
Um, you, so
Oh, go ahead.
what's the motion to approve the ordinance authorizing execution of option agreement for purchase?
Okay, well, so that, what I had Janet do was to roll things, getting the tip over, all the tip items, so to be honest, I don't need that.
Okay.
I mean, you kinda got that, but we're not quite there. I'll double check with the attorney, but I know the last conversation. John, have you heard anything from our attorney in regards to the land, for the motion authorizing execution of the option agreement for purchase of real estate? Because you're not there yet.
He sent me purchase agreement.
You did, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, we can't actually purchase land till the TIF.
Yeah, you're right,
application is
you're right.
finalized and voted, so.
All right, so we'll
there's not
just,
much point in putting that on the agenda.
I agree with you, so we'll take that off.
Well, I see where Joyce is coming from. It kind of be nice to have this timeline.
Yeah, no, I've got it down, I wanna
Okay.
talk to him.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, we're getting there, we're going through the agenda.
Was it gonna be that you're gonna pass an agreement that you would purchase it pending the approval of the TIF? So that could be done anytime between, because the legal description is there.
Yes.
Mark Bingham just sent me the easements for the sewer and drainage lines and everything, so I just got those.
Okay.
Okay, well, good.
Where was the park benches? I missed that.
So the city's been collecting caps, you know, Abby?
It's on the agenda,
Yeah.
the second page of the
Yeah.
agenda.
Right here. Right here.
It's in red.
Oh. Color blindness.
Uh-huh.
You know how much the man-
I don't, I will ask
800 pound
Abby,
cows.
but no, I don't know.
And some of the people are proud.
Do it right now. Yeah. Can't be that much, but,
Do you remember, Selena?
Well,
How
it's
much
went
it
up.
was?
It's went up. I think it's $200 a bench now. When we went, I think it was
and that's
125.
about 800 is what she was mentioning.
I
Page
think,
4.
wasn't it like a little over 800 pounds she had?
Yeah, before sorting and cleaning, but it won't go down much.
We'll just do up to.
We can do it up to a certain amount. I'll, she'll respond here.